However, if the court will impose more than 1 year as minimum, let's say 2 years as minimum, to 4 years as maximum, that is still correct. Then the court shall fix the minimum and the maximum. Meaning, say the court shall impose, shall apply the indeterminate sentence. The penalty provided in 67 is not more than 5 years imprisonment. Practically, the judge can impose 1 day imprisonment. The wordings of the law are defective. Republic Act 67. That's a special law. The indeterminate sentence law is applicable to special laws. Do not forget that. The only qualification is if the special law provides that 1 year, 1 to 5 years imprisonment, when the court applies the indeterminate sentence law, it means that the minimum shall not be less than 1 year. The penalty provided by the special is 1 to 5 years imprisonment. If you apply the indeterminate sentence law, the minimum must not be less than 1 year, and the maximum must not be more than 5 years. That is the meaning of that the indeterminate sentence law shall be applicable. In arbitrary detention under Article 124, hindi piracy muna. In piracy under Article 122, the original definition of piracy is seizing or attacking a vessel. Attacking a vessel or seizing the cargoes of the vessel or the properties of the members of the crew while in the open sea and by strangers, meaning not members of the crew nor passengers of the ship. Republic Act 659 amended Article 122, providing that even within the Philippine waters, piracy can be committed. The original idea of piracy is in yung mga ginagawa ng sumali. Diyan ang talagang piracy. In open sea. But under Article 122, piracy can be committed even within Philippine waters. Meaning to say outside the 12 nautical mile limit. Can it be committed by members of the crew or co-passengers? Yes. Says PD 532. Whoever is the one who seeks the vessel, wherever the vessel is, that is already piracy. Under Article 122 as amended by Republic Act 659 and PD 532. The problem is, if the problem stays in this manner, a vessel was anchored along Manila Bay, therefore within Philippine water. Armed men swooped upon the anchored vessel, took by means of violence and intimidation the properties. Some of these armed men were passengers of the ship. What crimes committed? You know, it can be considered now as piracy under Article 122 as amended by Republic Act 659. It could be considered as robbery with violence against or intimidation of person under paragraph 5 of Article 294. It could also be simple violation of PD 532. The wordings of PD 532 are very broad and general. Any unlawful seizure of any person or any property in the public place or in Philippine waters shall be punished under PD 532. So, you can answer anything. In arbitrary detention, my dear attorneys, it must be committed by a public officer. But, and this is from me, this is from Sandoval. Alam mo, maraming mga practicing lawyers, pag nag-a-argue sa judge, sabi nila, this is the opinion of Justice Kagiwa in such a case, and in the book. Justice Kagiwa, one of the best court of appeals as well. May mga libro yan. Lagi sinasabi ng mga abogado, in the opinion of Justice Kagiwa, etc., under the voters kagaya, nagalit siya. Sabi niya, who is Kagiwa to me? Dapat matuloy. But when you become lawyers, and you are practicing, you can tell any judge, this is the opinion in criminal law. This is the opinion of Justice Sandoval. And no judge will tell you who is Sandoval. If he tells you that, you text me. In arbitrary detention, it must be committed by public officer. Anyone who detains or arrests any person without legal guard, without any warrant of arrest, it must be committed by public officer. I was saying, not all public officers are included here. Secretary of the Central Bank Governor, he detained somebody. That is not arbitrary detention. That is kidnapping or illegal detention. Because although a public officer, his functions are not in connection with the protection of life and property or maintenance of peace and order. The public officers specified in Article 124 are those whose functions are related to the maintenance of peace and order or protection of the people or the property. Policemen, NBI, armed forces, barangay captains, barangay tanod. In one case, this is what happened. Mayor ito, in a checkpoint, nakita niya yung kanyang political opponent. Ayaw magpa-freeze. Hindi pwede. So, kinidnap ni Mayor. Dinala sa one place. The Mayor was charged with kidnapping under Article 267. Magaling yung Mayor. Magaling yung abogado. No bail recommended. In the artist judge in the province, no bail, sabi ng artist judge. Kidnapping ito. Article 267, penalty, ransom perpetual to them. Sabi ng abogado ng Mayor. You know, he is a public officer. Mayor is a public officer. And he committed, he detained a person without legal guard. It was in the course of the performance of his duties. Because as mayor, he was manning the checkpoint. Eh, kaaway nito, political opponent to. Kaya niya kinidnap. So sabi ng abogado mayor, he is a public officer. He is charged in connection with the performance of his duties. Sa sandigang bayan dapat to. Takam-taka yung artist dyan. Eh bakit sa sandigan? Eh gusto mo sa sandigan? Oo. Dinala sa sandigan. Ang marami sa accused ayaw sa sandigan. Eh una-una, tatlo kami doon eh. Paano mo makukonvince ka agad yung tatlo? Ito sa isa. Moreover, pag sa artist, i-appeal mo sa Court of Appeals, sa sandigan, tapos Supreme Court. Pag sa sandigan, iisa na ang appeal mo. Supreme Court na. So, sige. Nilipat ka agad ng artist. In the sandigang bayan, hindi sa division ko ito. Hindi ako mapubuan ng abogado yun eh. He told the sandigang bayan in one division, Your Honor, my client is a public officer. He detains without legal ground another. Therefore, the crime committed is arbitrary detention. So, he asked the ombudsman to amend the information from kidnapping to arbitrary detention. Sabi pa, no accused. The main distinction between arbitrary detention and kidnapping, both accused detain a person without legal guard. But in arbitrary detention, he is a public officer, therefore the crime is arbitrary detention. In kidnapping, he is a private individual, therefore the crime is kidnapping. So in amend sa arbitrary detention, after the amendment, nag-petition for bail yung mayor. Under Article 124, at most the penalty is recusum temporal in arbitrary detention. At so nakapag-bail yung mayor. Magaling yung ano doon. That is the distinction between arbitrary detention and kidnapping. Both accused kidnap a person without legal guard. But in arbitrary detention, he is a public officer. In kidnapping, he is a private individual. mataas ang penalty sa private individual. However, liwanag assist you. Baby assist you. Baby assist you. When we were teenagers, itong mga sikat, anak ng mayor ng isang suburban town, now a city, we became good friends. Sabi sa akin, alam mo, Justice, nung ako he became congressman at he ran for mayor. Nung ako katarantaduhan, lahat ng kaso ipinataw sa akin. Hindi lang rape. Lahat ng kidnapping, etc. You know, in kidnapping, he was found guilty of kidnapping and sentenced to ransom perpetua. Nakawalong taon din siya sa kulungan. He was telling mo, alam mo, araw-araw dinadala ako ng nanay ko. Araw-araw. Bumagyo, kumidlat, kung paano. Sabi ko ang tatay mo, si Mayor, ayun, sabi ni Mayor, mabulok ko na natin. After 8 years, he was pardoned. Nakarecover then. He ran for congressman, he won. But then, when he was charged with kidnapping, he was a private individual, okay. But he was assisted by the policeman of his father. Hindi na po na yun ang Supreme Court eh. The charge, he was found guilty of kidnapping, together with the policeman. It would seem that if the principal accused is a public officer, the crime is, even if committed with private individuals, the crime is arbitrary detention. But if the principal accused is a private individual, even if assisted or in conspiracy with public officers or policemen, the crime committed would be arbitral, public officer arbitrary detention. I think you should file that whenever a case is filed, whenever a question is asked about this. In violation of domicile, it is committed by public officer who would enter your house against your will. Please be careful about it. A policeman entered your house. Your house the door was closed but not locked. He opened the door, you saw him entering your house. Tapos dire-diretso siya sa kusina. When he saw that you were monitoring his movement, lumabas na siya. Was there violation of domicile? The law says any public officer who would enter the dwelling of another against his will, that was not against your will. He entered without your consent. That is not possible. Di sinabi mo, mga policeman pasaka, ay bahay ko ito, hindi pwede. Then he insisted that is violation of domicile. If this is committed by private individual, the crime is trespass to dwelling. Take note of that. If a public officer would surreptitiously enter your house, di nakita mo, bakit nandito ka? Mga pulis. Sabi siya, kala ko bahay ko ito eh. Tayo, ang laki-laki ito eh. Bahay mo, liit-liit, kita ko eh. If you insist that he gets out and he refuses, he is also guilty of violation of domicile. Again, if there is search warrant, do not speak anymore of violation of domicile. Pag may search warrant. There will be a question about rebellion and coup d'etat. Remember, siguro pag pinadefine sa inyo ang rebellion coup d'etat, may inis ka. Rebellion, rising publicly and taking up against the government.